are these people?
Next thing is our Fuck Israel segment, because we have to do one every week. Thanks, Israel, for making us do a Fuck Israel segment. Stop murdering people, and we will stop doing a Fuck Israel segment. That's on you.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Especially Illinois Nazis or Middle Eastern, European Nazis. All right.
Yep. They're the same ones, technically. They just found a different necklace to wear, I think.
So Mohammed Safa, who is a CEO, also somehow, what is PVA English? Main representative at the United Nations. All right. So, and at the UN Geneva office. Over 500 Palestinians in Gaza have been killed in the last 96 hours. July 1st through 4th. It's not war. It's genocide. It's systematic ethnic cleansing. It is an attempt to wipe out an entire population of people and to erase their history, to kill their lawmakers. Well, they don't even have lawmakers. To kill their doctors and their educators and their students and their nurses and everybody else in between. So that hasn't stopped. On top of that, an Israeli airstrike on July 2nd killed the Gaza hospital director along with his family. Now, again, remember that we've been talking. Now, this is from Dave DeCamp, antiwar.com, both Indie Media Award honorees, best of the best. Again, we only go to the best of the best here. Israeli attacks have killed 70 healthcare workers over the past 50 days. But they're not targeting healthcare systems, right? And remember that targeting healthcare systems and killing aid workers is a war crime every single time.
Yep.
They do it without shame and without any care. So what Dave writes is that on...
This is just...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I
was
going
to talk about Dr. Hassam as well, who's still... We have no idea at his, status. So...
If he's even alive, where he is... Right.
Right.
They pushed his trial, whatever that is, 6 further months just so they could torture and imprison him another 6 months.
Torture him more.
But Dave writes that on Wednesday, an Israeli airstrike struck an apartment in Gaza City, which killed Dr. Marwan al-Sultan, the director of the Indonesian hospital, as the Israeli military continues to kill medical workers and decimate Gaza's healthcare infrastructure by design. According to the Associated Press, so you know it was intentionally disseminated as propaganda, al-Sultan was killed alongside his wife, daughter, and son-in-law. Again, propaganda because the State Department or whoever wanted it pushed out there pushed it out through the Associated Press. That was done by intent. Other reports say his sister is also killed. According to Haaretz, the Indonesian hospital has been out of service since May 21st after an Israeli airstrike destroyed its generators. So, al-Sultan had been quoted by many media outlets warning of the catastrophic destruction of Gaza's medical infrastructure. That's apparently something that's worthy of a death sentence to the Israelis. According to Healthcare Workers Watch, a Palestinian medical organization, al-Sultan's killing marks again the 70th healthcare worker killed by the Israeli military in Gaza in the past 50 days. Name any other country that could intentionally murder 70 healthcare workers in 50 days and not be bombed to the Stone Age.
I know of one.
The killing of the killing of Dr. Marwan al-Sultan by the Israeli military is a catastrophic loss to Gaza and the entire medical community and will have a devastating impact on Gaza's healthcare system. That was, again, by design. Quote, this is part of a much longer and systematic, atrocious targeting of healthcare workers sanctioned by impunity. This is a tragic loss of life, but also an obliteration of their decades of life-saving medical expertise and care at a time when the situation facing Palestinian civilians is unfathomably catastrophic. Now you're taking away the people that could possibly fix the few that are left. The Guardian report said that among the healthcare workers killed over the past 50 days, there were 3 other doctors, the chief nurses at the Indonesian hospital, and Al Nasser Children's Hospital, because you don't want them fixing children, apparently, one of Gaza's most senior midwives, a senior radiology technician, and dozens of young medical graduates and trainee nurses, because why allow the next generation to actually take care of people? On June 6th, the first day of Eid, 9 healthcare workers were killed in one day in airstrikes in the north of Gaza, where they were sheltering with their families. I mean, The Hague, we've got to figure out a way to hold these people accountable. On May 25th, an airstrike on a home in Khan Yunis killed 9 out of 10 children, as we know, of doctors Ala al-Najjar and Hamdi al-Najjar. Allah was working as a pediatrician at the Nasser hospital when the strike hit her family, and Hamdi was injured in the attack, succumbing to his wounds a few days later. Allah and her only surviving child, 11-year-old Adam, who was badly maimed, have since been evacuated to Italy for medical treatment. Again, another doctor out of commission, which is exactly what Israel wants. All right. But that's not all, because this one was targeted, and here's why. Mossab Abu Toha, which interestingly had his Substack account suspended yesterday for a few hours. They put it back, thankfully. There's only one person I know of who's ever had their Substack account permanently suspended and disabled. They don't censor. He says, oh my goodness, how did I miss this until now? The timing of Israel's assassination of Dr. Marwan al-Sultan, the director of the Indonesian hospital and one of Gaza's top cardiologists, was no coincidence. It happened on the very same day Gaza Doctors Under Attack was scheduled to air on Channel 4 in Zateo.
Channel 4.
This is the same documentary that the BBC had commissioned and cleared for broadcast back in February, before abruptly pulling it on June 20th. I wonder why.
Why? Why?
Even Israel
we know why, but why? Yeah, but like that's not enough.
Yes.
You're a fucking completely other country.
Dr. Al-Sultan's
what the
daughter,
fuck are you doing?
Said the missile struck the only room where her father was staying. It seems like this world still does not understand what Israel is capable of and what they are doing. Again, he's one of the doctors who was in this documentary. But he wasn't even the only doctor.
Could you imagine any other country? Could you imagine any other country being able to just call the BBC and be like, hey, can you pull that documentary about us down? Like, that would never happen.
No, didn't
they
ask.
Did one on Russia.
Ordered them to. Ordered them to, as if they were the bosses, and they complied. This is a state-run media agency.
Every fucking time. They
got somebody by the short and curlies. They got to have film on everybody, and thanks to their spyware, they know everybody's private stuff.
Everything.
They can go after anybody. But he wasn't, again, the only doctor this week that they murdered. All right. Dr. Musa Kafaja, which is a doctor at Nasser Hospital, along with his entire family, including 3 children, when their tent was struck with a missile in southern Gaza. This is him delivering babies. He was one of the most preeminent prenatal doctors, not because he treated soldiers, but because he saved premature babies. Those barely alive and deemed too dangerous to live.
In incubators.
In the eyes of their enemy, his real enemy was the future, so the missile came to silence his heartbeat, to empty his crib, to stop the tiny threats from breathing. What kind of injustice is this? What kind of war sees incubators as a threat? It's not a war. It's a massacre. It's an extermination. And it's disgusting. And we're funding it and arming it.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember, people talking about incubators and babies on the Senate floor and getting us into a war that way.
Yes.
I vaguely remember that.
Correct. Suppressed News.
What happened? I thought we cared about babies.
Suppressed News shares this website. More than 13,000 videos documenting Israel's war crimes archived by type, date, location, weapons Israel used in the genocide, crimes of each military unit, and all details are available at tiktokgenocide.com. Website made by Zionism Observer. Receipts _ LOL. We brought some of their stuff before. And these are just some of the categories.
Right now.
Right? Oh, well, you know who
Make
owns
sure
the
that's
Wayback
saved
Machine.
and archived.
Uh-huh. But yes.
So,
but on top of that, there was also like a database of files put out on top of that. Not just a website, but there's also a database where you can download them, and that's been disseminated. Now, the final thing I wanted to bring up was, remember we talked about Glastonbury a couple of weeks ago when David Miller published the dossiers of all of these fucking Zionists that petitioned Glastonbury to keep DeCamp out. Well, so Glastonbury's been a story for a couple of weeks. I think a lot of you heard about what happened at the festival, that Bob Villain was on stage and they tried to, and he said something that got a lot of people very upset. All right.
Yeah.
He wished death on an army, which I guess you're not allowed to do. People are getting arrested for it. People are getting their Twitter accounts shut down for it. I'm guessing that if it was death to an army that the U.S. was not happy with, that they wouldn't be doing that. And not that the U.S. is happy with the IDF either, but they fund them, so therefore you're not allowed to criticize them, apparently, or to wish what they wished. So, Richard Medhurst, who Indie Media Award honoree, who is being silenced himself and is under investigation in 2 countries, allegedly. He says sniping kids in the head, gang raping prisoners. That video came out again, horrific this week. Bombing hospitals, bulldozing cemeteries. We've covered that. Abducting doctors. Again, Hussam Abu Safia. Release and free him right now. Killing journalists, which we've covered just about every week. Killing UN staff. Bombing Israeli hostages. Yes, they cared so much about freeing the hostages that they bombed them. Using prisoners as human shields. Mauling or raping people with dogs. And blowing up homes. But yeah, let's condemn and investigate some unsettling chants at a festival instead. I mean, context here. And, let's put things in perspective. It's wow. I mean, the fact that we even have to say this shit is beyond. Rat Angel, yes, Richie is incredible. Shout out to Richard. Richard is one of the people that I credit with helping me get to where I am, with his coverage back in 2020, 2021, 2022. I mean, he's still doing great work now, but those, especially the Assange trial woke me the hell up. And he woke me up as much on Palestine early on in 2020 as anyone. And then after he did that, seeing what they then did to Gaza, and they destroyed the AP building in 21, and they murdered Shireen, and that permanently sealed it for me. Okay, I get it. This is not, they're not good people and never will be. Sorry, they're just not. Abby Martin put out a thing today about how over 80% of Israelis are in favor of this genocide and of the ethnic cleansing of Gaza and want to even potentially live there themselves. So don't just blame Netanyahu. Don't blame the Knesset. Don't blame the government. This is the policy and the mindset of the majority of Israelis. And
blame it on a BB.
They can't just blame it on the BB. That's what they want to do. It's nice and easy for them to do. So fuck Israel for all of those things.
It's the Likud party and they own the Knesset. No, it's all of you fucks.
Yep. It sure is.
All of you.
All right. All right. So again, we're not getting refunded by YouTube for doing any of that or talking about Bob Villain and shout out to Bob Villain, by the way, for taking a chance by any chance. Yes, Harps over on Substack. What did he's trying to say is they're cunts. They're fucking cunts. Said Glastonbury. It's perfectly acceptable to say that. Even. But either way, but they are right cunts. They absolutely are. But if you are able to and of means, please support the media you want to see and support INN, support independent media. The ways to do that, we don't like the platforms really getting the money. We'd rather it come to us because they take a lot of fees. Cash App, $ Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network. IndieNewsNow.com is our website where you can donate direct. INN newsletter over at Substack.com, as well as IndieMediaToday.com, where again, we are live right now. Hello and shout out to everybody over on Substack. Good to see you and thank you for watching over there. So,
coming to a Substack newsletter near you.
Support independent media because we need it more than ever. I love you all and we'll see you soon.
See you in a bit, fam.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
We go party.
Bye-bye. No! We just fucking lost the stream.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want?